What's up, fans? Welcome back to the Playable Characters podcast. Once again, I got to say it every week. Thanks so much for the feedback and the comments and the ratings and the reviews. Apparently, they're super important. If you haven't given us a review yet, go for it on iTunes or Google. Click that like button, whatever you got to do. This week is awesome. We have a female, kind of a legend in the video game world. Hasn't been heard from in a while, but it's exciting. It's going to be a good one. We got Pauline from Donkey Kong. She's here to tell her story, tell us what's going on, how that all started. It's going to be a great one. It's played by the hilarious Lindsay Goldwert, by the way. So enjoy. Thanks. Pay attention. Playable Characters Podcast.
I am.
Creepy weirdo.
I am. I am.
Yep. Spooky square.
I am.
Playable Characters Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Playable Characters Podcast. We're back.
Yay,
We're back.
we
Back
did
for what episode is this?
I don't know,
say
man.
a number. Don't say a number because we don't know which episode that we want this to be.
We're going to have
That's
to start
true.
this over, you realize.
No, this is
No,
fine.
we don't have to start it over.
That's
This is
what-
fine.
It's the magic of podcasting.
People
Colin.
don't care. It's not like 1950 where they're like,
What
you know.
episode is this on my radio station?
Well, the live studio audience is very confused right now.
Yeah,
so.
everybody keep it down.
you're talking as if like it's the first movie ever made and the train's coming at the screen. You're like, no, people understand how recording and
I
editing
want
work.
this to be the I Love Lucy of podcast. Just one perfect take and then keep it moving.
Just
They
a
did
white
one
woman
take
eating
back then?
chocolates.
Yeah, pretty much one. I think one take or two takes. They were like perfectionists.
All right,
about
speaking of trains, we're getting off track. This is the amazing Playable Characters Podcast, guys. Thank you for the feedback we've been getting so far for the first couple episodes. It's been amazing. It's true, actually. So this is exciting. We have a really very special guest in the studio with us today. We're going to talk to Pauline. The one and only Pauline from Donkey Kong is with us in the studio.
From
So-
the original Donkey Kong.
From
Yes.
the original Donkey
Oh, wow.
Kong. Yeah, she's been...
She was the OG original woman that we had to save.
The original damsel in distress. Yeah, she's
All
been
those years
MIA
ago.
for a bit, but we're excited to hear her story and what she's got going on. So
I know. Thank you
We'll-
for coming from the factory all the way over here. Seriously. Appreciate it.
It's just a pleasure to be here.
I
Really.
wasn't going to introduce her yet, but I guess we're going right into it.
What factory? Sorry, what did she? You came from a factory?
What is that
The
about?
Donkey Kong factory.
Is that a factory?
Yeah, it's a factory.
Hold on.
That's why they...
Oh,
Let's say hello. Hello, Pauline.
oh, hi, Pauline. Sorry.
Hi, no, I'm just really happy to be here.
Welcome
and
to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, this
Thank
is-
you for giving me this chance to clear the air and tell my story.
Oh, of course.
this
No,
is-
yeah, we want to hear your side of it.
You
I mean-
contacted us. You heard about the podcast. It's huge nationwide, and then you were like, "I got to tell these guys what happened to Pauline." And people have asked where's she been, but give us a quick backstory. Like, you were in Donkey Kong.
I have a lot of questions. but
yeah, early
let's-
'80s,
Let's
obviously.
let you
and-
speak first.
I mean,
let's let her speak
Yeah,
first.
so let's.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's meant so much to me, and I have to be honest with you. The reason why I reached out was I wanted to share my journey with you before Princess Peach got here.
There's
Yes.
a little
Okay.
kind of like a beef in a way. Like, people choose their favorites. A Pauline is a Peach, and Peach has obviously had the spotlight for
Yes.
decades now.
I mean, Peach and I, we're great friends,
That's good.
but I just, we have a complicated past, and we're going to get to that. I want to get to that whole story.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, but, and it's, but to start out, people always ask me, how did you and Mario meet?
Wait, are you also a princess, Pauline? I'm sorry, I'm kind of
No,
ignorant
I'm
about
not a
this.
princess.
Okay.
I was Mario and and Luigi. We were just kids together. You
Yeah.
know, we grew up. We went to school in the jungles of Pitfall. We just spent all. We were just riding the branches together.
Hold on. There's a school in the jungles of Pitfall?
Yeah,
That seems
know.
like a crazy place for a school.
Well, it was kind of a homeschool situation.
Wait,
Wait, you guys, the three of you were homeschooled together?
Well, it was me, and it was Mario and Luigi, and we had a teacher. The teacher was, he was just a pixel.
a single.
It was a long time ago.
He was
Single
just a
pixel.
single pixel.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
But he taught us so much.
Wow.
He
It's
taught us
amazing.
so much, and eventually we decided to move on together. And what can we do in this world? And the three of us teamed up because we were just kids together. We
Yeah.
wanted to follow our
I
dreams
thought
together.
I thought you got kidnapped by Donkey Kong.
Well, she might be getting to that. I
Oh,
mean,
sorry. Yeah.
Well, so this is the thing with Mario. We were always very loyal to each other, but he always had his mind on other things, and he wanted to build stuff, and he would go off to try to fix things, and then he would kind of forget about me sometimes. He took me for granted, and that's when I would get kidnapped by Donkey Kong.
Oh
Just
my
all the
gosh.
time. You just
Yeah.
Mario would go on his adventures, and He'd come home and you're gone.
Yeah, and he'd be like, "Oh
Does
no,"
sound familiar.
and he just kept dropping the ball a lot, taking me for granted. Except instead of just forgetting my birthday and anniversaries, he would just leave me to get kidnapped by Donkey Kong.
Oh, that's so. I hear that, sister.
It was painful.
I mean,
it was
that's-
painful.
That seems like a trend with Mario's girlfriends. Like I
You
would
stayed
not.
with him, huh?
Well, there's a lot of. We came from the neighborhood together, and
Right,
we
he
just and he
understands
would
you. The
jungle.
apologize, and he would rescue me.
I thought he was from Brooklyn. Honestly, maybe I'm just making stereotypes.
Maybe
on,
he. I mean,
on
I guess he.
Italians.
I guess
It was
he
kind
moved.
of. I mean, he was born there, but he was educated in the jungles of Pitfall.
Of course, that
right.
makes sense.
He doesn't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. He's a good jumper.
It's kind of
and,
off-brand.
That's where he
I guess.
learned.
Yeah.
That's where he
Oh.
learned to jump.
Well, I mean, originally, I'm sure you know this. His name was Jumpman. I mean, when did the Mario? Is it Mario his real name, or is that a nickname? Like, did you know him as Jumpman, or is it just Mario?
He was always Mario
He
to
was
me.
always Mario.
But the Jumpman was something that he really wanted to be. We were in Pitfall as kids, and he would go and he'd try to leap over, the alligators. He's like, "I'm Jumpman." I'd be like, "Oh, Mario, you crazy?"
Isn't Jumpman
He would say that when he jumped. I'm jumped.
Yeah, that was from when we were kids, guys.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just wanted to support him in his dreams, but at the same time, I never really thought about what my dreams were.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
Because I just was all about us we weren't even a couple then, we were just kids.
Yeah.
Was Donkey Kong from the jungle too? Because he kidnapped you. It seems like it would make
Had to
sense
have been, right?
that
Is that
he's
where
from
you-
the jungle.
He was from a different jungle.
He was from a different jungle. Okay.
He was from a different jungle. It was a neighboring jungle.
What was that like the first? I mean, obviously you're sitting around, I assume, at home alone, and then this giant monkey comes. Like, what happened? Like, what tells?
And he has a
know-
tie on, right? He wore a tie,
He had a
right?
tie. He
Why
was
does
fancy.
Yeah.
I just thought he was the factory manager, but he wasn't. He was Donkey Kong, and he was very taken with me, and I was very frightened. And he took me to the top, and then Mario came to rescue me finally, it was terrifying. It was really terrifying. I've been through a lot of therapy.
It's weird.
I don't want to be rude, but I just want to know, how do you feel about barrels now? Is that okay, or is it triggering?
They can come. If they're going away from me, it's okay. If they're coming toward me, I have to do a little bit of a meditative chant.
Yeah.
But he was throwing them away from you in the game.
I still
right?
just, I guess, just an experience.
I mean,
wait, are there barrels coming towards you pretty often though? Does that happen?
They're emotional barrels.
Okay.
Like
Right.
life is just a series of emotional barrels.
Right, is a series of barrels that you have to deal with. You
Right.
have to jump them or
Yeah.
smash them, right?
And then you meditate.
Or run away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, what is your chant that you use?
Do, 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 do.
Oh, it's like a piece of music from the.
It's like it's like a remix of the Mario.
It's kind of a Buddhist take on Mario's on the music from Super
That's
Mario
very
1.
interesting. Can I ask
Yeah.
you? This is a kind of a serious question.
Sure.
Everybody really likes Donkey Kong now, so I feel like they've kind of swept all of his kidnappings under the rug.
That's
right?
true. Good point.
Well-
and you're kind of left in the dark. No offense.
Well, this is what I
don't know
want
why
to
that
talk
would be
about. And this is
offensive.
something I was very ashamed of, is eventually, Mario was, it's one thing to rescue somebody, but if you're not there at the beginning, then the rescuing starts to feel very hollow. And eventually, Donkey Kong and I became an item.
Oh,
my God. Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
Is this where
Breaking
Donkey
news.
Kong Jr. came from?
Hold on. Whoa.
we might have breaking news.
Well, that's, I guess now is the time to talk about it.
What? Also, good for getting your interspecies on. I mean, that was rare in the 80s.
Is that what we're saying now? I thought it was bestiality. It's
Well-
interspecies.
No, it was.
Oh, no, sorry. I should say bitaxonomic. Sorry.
Whoa, is that a new term?
Oh, no, that's always been there.
Oh, okay.
Be respectful.
I prefer that term, and I really appreciate you not saying bestiality or
didn't-
not.
Oh, sorry. That's
Or not,
I'm
it's
old.
It was actually, it was complicated because I had a little bit of Stockholm syndrome, as my therapist
I would
calls it.
imagine.
Right.
Yeah, because
Yes.
he kept kidnapping me. He said he loved me. He couldn't leave me alone. And eventually it's like, wow, this guy really seems to care in a way that Mario really didn't seem to care as much. The rescuing just seemed, his heart wasn't in it after a while.
So it was a weird situation because you have a kind of a boyfriend that doesn't really treat you that well.
Yeah.
And then you have a guy who's kidnapping you and kind of like professing his love, and he happens to be a monkey, but whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a strange, emotionally, that's got to be tough. Right?
It was really, really hard
How
for
old
me.
were you at the time?
Oh gosh, I must have been like 23. I
Oh,
was
that's
pretty
tough.
young,
Yeah.
It's a different time. I
Right
get
out of
it.
college.
It
yeah.
was, and I dropped out of college.
For Mario?
I did. I dropped out of
Was-
college for Mario.
Was that Jungle College also? Was it in the jungle?
No, it was this little trade school. It was on top of the Kubert pyramid. You know, I learned a little bit of, you know, it was
like a secretary school kind of thing? No offense.
It was a little bit of admin. It was a little bit of hair.
Oh, and hair.
It was admin, hair, and joystick maneuvering.
That's
Okay,
interesting.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I didn't
Those
get
are
to
very
finish.
valuable
I
skills.
didn't even get my associates because I really wanted Mario I wanted to take that journey with him. But
Yeah.
then after a while, it's like, why am I even with Mario? When Donkey Kong, you know, who had his flaws, he really did. And that's a whole other topic that we can get into.
Yeah.
But I just said, why why I should just stay with him? Maybe he'll look at it and he'll protect me. So that's
he is putting you at the top of things. So I mean,
That's true.
But you know, when someone puts you on a pedestal, you know, you're at a distance from other people.
Yeah.
That's true.
You
Well, I mean,
know?
he is throwing barrels to keep people away.
He did, and I missed people. I missed my friends.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I haven't seen the L from Tetris in so long.
What about? I mean, were you close with Luigi too? Like, how did he feel about? Was
Yeah,
he
poor
jealous
Luigi.
at all, or what? He's always seems to be like second fiddle, but
Well, but no, Luigi's really a tragedy. You know, I don't know if you guys see.
A tragedy.
Well, he drank.
Really?
Yeah, he's in recovery now, and I'm so
Well, that's
proud of
good.
him. You know, but Luigi was always was very jealous of Mario. You know, and he and I know he had a little bit of a crush on me, and I just looked at Luigi like a little brother, and you know, and that was hard for him too. You know, always having to come in. You know, but one day Mario and Luigi had a terrible fight about me, and I overheard it, and it caused a big rift between me and Luigi.
really?
what happened?
Oh, no.
Well, I'm just gonna tell the whole story.
Let's do it. That's what we're
So
here for.
it was New Year's. It was a party at Miss Pac-Man's, you know, and things got a little out of hand, and you know there was some leftover mistletoe and
leftover mistletoe
from the Christmas party.
Right.
week
Oh,
before,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That happens. That's a
It
thing.
happens, you know. Mario wasn't great at cleaning the house. You know, it wasn't
He's
his.
an Italian man.
Yeah.
The toilets in the sink worked perfectly, being the plumber, but it was just a messy place.
And it's such a metaphor for him. You know, he'd keep the toilet and sink so clean, but then he would just let everything else pile up. It was
I bet
just
there's
like,
coins everywhere, isn't it?
oh. And
What
who-
is that metaphor? I don't get it.
For me,
Oh.
like he'd be great at the rescue, but he wouldn't realize that I kept getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Again,
know?
we got to get Mario on this podcast. I mean, we had Bowser
I
a couple
mean-
weeks ago talking about him. And
Yeah.
it seems to be-
Mario is very busy. It's hard to get.
It's impossible. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, now
we've tried.
he's busy, and I tried to get him to blurb my book.
Oh,
It's been
You have a book.
Yeah.
Well, I am here to promote my book.
Oh,
I hope that's
tell us-
okay.
Oh wait, but first you didn't
No.
finish the New Year's
Oh yeah,
story.
Tell us a
Yes.
New Year's story.
So I'm under the mistletoe, and I know Luigi has had a little too much to drink, and he kissed me under
Oh.
the mistletoe, and I was feeling vulnerable.
And you and Mario were kind of together, or Donkey Kong wasn't
This
in the
was
picture yet, right? Or,
pre Donkey Kong,
Okay.
and Mario and I were drifting apart.
what'd you call him? Donkey? Did you call him Kong?
Did you call him DK?
What'd you call him?
I called
Big
him
Papa?
I called him DK.
DK.
After a while, after we were together.
That's cute.
Mostly when he was kidnapping me, I was like, ah! That's what I called him.
Because he's a
Right,
giant
yeah.
monkey
Yeah.
with a tie.
But then when I got to know him, he was
What?
he was DK to me. So anyway, Luigi and I shared a very passionate kiss that night because I was feeling. And did I want to make Mario jealous? Maybe I did. I admit that now. And Mario and Luigi had into a big fight, and I heard them. And Mario told Luigi that he was just getting his sloppy seconds.
Oh, my
Oh.
God.
And
That's,
I thought that was just a disgraceful way to
that's terrible.
So-
refer
offensive.
to me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original I'm like, that's not how you talk about a damsel.
No.
Yes.
Definitely
No.
not.
That's how you talk about Pitfall Jungle Trash,
Yeah.
which I'm not.
Yeah. Were there a lot of Pitfall Jungle Trash around?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were a bad influence.
Yeah, I bet.
Yes, they were all underground when you had to go through that tunnel.
Yep.
Right. Yes.
You know,
The scorpions and the crabs or whatever, those things.
Yeah.
trash.
And they didn't go to the school, obviously, taught by the Pixel Man.
No, they smoked. You know, they were always trying to
They're
get
the
me
bad
to.
Smoking
kids.
cigarettes?
Yeah, they were always trying to get me to smoke, and I didn't do that.
They're the bad kids.
They were bad. They were
Gotcha.
really, really bad.
So I just want to go back to this relationship with you and Donkey Kong because, again, like I said, the 80s, that's crazy progressive.
Yeah, that's
How did your
very
parents
progressive.
take it?
Oh gosh, my parents, they think everything is, they're just stuck in the time of Pong,
Yeah.
know, everything is like black and white to them,
It's literally yes.
literally black and white, and they didn't understand it, but they shouldn't have sent me to the Pitfall School if they didn't want me to have a more,
Were there lots of school options in the jungle?
Yeah, what else? Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's in the jungle. Maybe just other places. Were there other
They could have sent
options?
me to the arachnid school. They could have sent me to a bunch of other places.
I think you mean Arkanoid,
Arkanoid.
Is
No,
that-
we called it arachnid.
just for funsies.
It's a reasonable
I've
accent. I
pronounced
get
it
it.
arachnid a bunch of times. So
Well, that was the girls' school.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes,
Interesting.
arachnid was the girls' school. Arachnoid was the boys' school.
That makes perfect sense.
it's like Harvard
Yes.
and
And Radcliffe, yes.
Radcliffe,
It was very similar, actually. It was very similar.
Okay.
So how did you and Donkey Kong break up? What happened?
Oh gosh. Well, we had Donkey Kong Jr. and he needed a lot of love and attention. He had some difficulty in school. And these were sort of later times. He had some behavioral problems. So we sent him, we sent him to a little school, where they do duck hunt, where he was able to get out his aggression.
That's where the Donkey Kong Jr. math game, I assume, came from.
Yes,
Remember that
exactly.
game, Donkey Kong Jr. math? It was just...
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
It
Yeah.
was
Yes.
just-
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's how
Oh, yeah,
we-
it was,
Yeah.
yeah. So he was dumb, and they made him...
No, come
Hey,
on.
excuse me.
No,
He
he was
had a learning disability.
Oh, I'm
he had
sorry.
he was so
It's a dumb
smart.
monkey, you
I mean,
know?
we're talking about someone who's bi-taxonomic, okay? It's
That's
a lot of
true.
stress from both
I guess
sides.
it's hard to... That's
the
true.
human side, the monkey
But
side.
we didn't know that he was such a math genius until we were able to deal with his problems. He was very angry. He didn't understand why his dad was Donkey Kong and his mother was a damsel in distress. He didn't have anyone to relate to.
Yeah.
So we just had to give him extra attention. And Donkey Kong didn't really have the time or the patience to deal with Donkey Kong Jr. He wasn't interested in math. He just mostly wanted to just throw barrels.
Yeah.
This is like a theme. It seems like a lot of video game characters don't have time for their family members, right?
Yeah, it's
they're
sad.
very focused, and the thing is, and they want to have time for everything, but they don't. And as the female characters, we have lives outside of the game, and we just expect it to do too much.
Yeah.
And
So,
I
mean, you have to get kidnapped and you have to raise a child. right?
That's a lot of leaning in.
Especially
There's
it's a
only-
wild monkey, let's face it. It's hard raising that, I would imagine.
That wild.
well, it turned out that he was a wild monkey who was excellent at math, and really kind of a John Nash kind of character.
Oh,
He had a beautiful mind, but he also, did swipe at you and would tear your head off.
Wow.
So you didn't know which,
Even at
You
you.
even at me,
You didn't know what you were going to get.
even at his
Wow.
own mother.
Wow.
How did you control him? How did you...
Only math
bananas?
could control
Only
him.
math could control him.
Only
Good thing they
math.
made that game.
Only math. That was really a godsend. It really was. But I realized, after Donkey Kong Jr. was in school, and and I was like assessing things, and I'm like, I keep falling for these men that profess their love to me, but also Mario.
Right, it's true.
Who are very focused, and they take me for granted. They need a lot of caring. They need people to care for them, and they need a lot of love. But then I don't get it back.
Yeah.
And I just realized that as I got older, and I kind of, it took some time for me, and I got to be honest with you guys, I fell into some other bad relationships
Really?
after
Oh
Donkey
my
Kong.
God.
Oh,
What-
no.
Well, let's get into this
Can you
if
talk
you
about
don't mind.
those?
Yeah.
No, I mean it's all out in the open now. It's all in the book.
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
Okay.
You
yeah.
I had a pretty passionate affair with Glass Joe.
Really?
Oh my
Oh.
God, Glass Joe.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
actually,
he's
I think,
supposed to be on
scheduled
this
to be on
show,
this
yeah.
show in a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Wow.
Well,
Maybe we can get into that with him.
we can talk about it. It was.
Why Glass Joe? I mean, he's literally one of the worst boxers in history. Like,
He just
was it about
needed.
him?
I fell for men who needed me.
yeah, you like the
Yeah.
the fixer uppers kind of.
I
or,
think that was
yeah.
the thing. He just needed someone to say, you can do it this time. You can be the champ. And he
Yeah,
was.
he's optimistic. That's a big
Yeah.
characteristic. you want
Yeah,
in
because
somebody.
Glass can be strong,
It's true, but he wasn't.
but he wasn't.
Did you guys ever fight? Did you ever knock him out? I mean, it was pretty easy. Did that ever happen?
accidentally?
You had to be real careful. Like you couldn't even hug him too hard
Oh.
because he was delicate.
Yeah.
So how did
gosh.
Are you talking about our love play?
how did that work?
He was on top a lot. In
Right.
he
Just because he's so
because he was
glassy.
delicate.
Yeah.
He was fragile.
Yeah.
He was fragile, but he would cry after sex. It was so sweet. He was
Really?
such
Is
he
this-
he was such a change from DK because DK was like very like aggressive, and it was nice to have someone to be the little spoon.
Aww.
Wow. That's a huge contrast going from Donkey Kong,
Yes.
King of the Jungle,
Right.
King
Yeah.
of the video game monkeys, to
To Glass
one of the
Joe.
worst characters in history.
Well, I didn't see him
I
that
wouldn't
way.
say she's not judging him based on his boxing. You
I
have to
am.
understand.
Yeah.
that. See,
Yeah.
that's very like a
That's all I know. That's
shallow
The
thing.
typical man.
Glass Joe I
You
know is
he may have had a glass physique, but he had a very sturdy heart.
He had a
good.
heart made of steel.
That's good.
Yeah, he had an iron heart, like
Iron heart.
Iron Mike Tyson's heart.
Really?
Not literally,
Okay,
no.
good.
No. But that was challenging too, because eventually there's only so much effort you can put into somebody who is just always going to get knocked out like right away.
Yeah.
That's,
You know,
I imagine that's tough.
It is hard because he just kind of wouldn't. He's like, I should just quit, and I used to say, don't quit, baby. You could be the next bald bull.
So you were telling him not to quit.
So
he should have really quit.
Yeah, it might have
But
been
then I would say, but he just wanted me. That was our dynamic. He
Right.
would say, I'm going to quit, baby. And I'd be like, don't quit. I believe in you. But then after a while, I'm like, baby, you should really
yeah.
quit.
He was like
you're-
1 in 99.
And then
Yeah.
and then he was like, no, I'm going to keep going.
And he's like, I thought you supported me. I thought you loved me. And I'd say, like, I know, but like, baby, you are getting some serious,
Yeah.
brain damage. Like, you're not,
Yeah.
it's not going to be good. And we were trying to have a family.
Really?
You wanted more kids.
Well, he wanted more kids.
You wanted human-
He
he
wanted
Did he
to
get
human
along
kids,
with-
yeah.
You probably wanted human kids,
he,
right?
No, he was for him. He wanted
he
to prove he
accept?
was a man.
Did he
Yeah.
accept Donkey Kong Jr.?
No,
Yeah.
he wanted he felt threatened. He's like, oh, DK's more of a man than me,
Well, yeah.
And so it was all like, no, you're not. You're just as much of a man as DK, which is like,
A lie.
well, he's more of a man
He's
in terms
more of a man,
in terms
like,
of gene,
you know what?
technically.
in terms of genus
You're-
and species.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
a man,
Yeah.
but
Not in
but
the
in-
sack.
I suppose that I don't want to say the
Ryan
wrong
getting
thing.
So
I mean, she brought it up. You know.
Did Donkey Kong and Glass Joe ever meet? Like, did they ever get into fights, or were things awkward?
Donkey Kong. By then, he had moved on a little bit.
he's like a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to call him that. We've settled our differences.
That's good.
We've settled our differences. He and Donkey Kong Jr. are more in touch now.
Does he? Yeah, well, he's
Oh,
in the
that's good.
games now, right?
Yeah.
He brought him into the business.
Yeah, he brought him into the business. It took a little while. It's kind of like Donald Trump and his children, he kind of ignores them until they turn 21, and then when they can make him some money, he brings them into the fold.
It's not
Oh
a
my
bad deal,
God,
I
yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just happy they know they're dead. They know they're dead.
Yeah.
That's good.
So this book, tell us
Yes.
about this book.
Sounds
that
like a
you-
tell-all.
Yeah.
It's called Finding the Damsel Within.
That's nice.
Oh.
Now you didn't obviously when you guys were growing up, Mario got into games and you got into all the like. Did you just get a taste of that lifestyle of being in this entertainment? Is that why you kept going after guys in games? Were there ever like any normal guys, or is this in the book you're going to talk about?
Oh,
Or?
I think it was the only life I really knew.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, in the beginning, the money was nice.
Yeah, I bet.
The money was really nice. We
Tons of
built
quarters.
tons of coins and quarters, and I had a castle. And I have to say that my castle, is Princess Peach kind of, ripped off my castle and kind of moved into her own castle, looked like my castle. So she kind of said, to talk about her, and so I'm not throwing any shade, but she sort of saw what I had, and she wanted that for herself. And she saw that I had limitations, and she, that I cared for others too much. And
Right.
and she just said, I'm going to be like Pauline, except I'm a princess. And I'm just gonna take what she has, and she
Wow.
did.
Is it like a blonde brunette thing going on between you two? There's always that classic
yeah.
Veronica.
Well,
and,
she's not a mother. She's not a
Betty?
mother.
Betty.
Betty.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy for me because my attentions were split between me and Donkey Kong Jr. And Princess Peach was, she was unencumbered. She had a lot of ambition, and I was concerned about, who's going to put DK Jr.
Right.
In badminton classes.
Yeah.
Who's gonna
Make sure he knows
Right.
his math.
who's gonna go through his fractions with him? Princess Peach wouldn't have time.
Were you getting any support from Donkey? Was he sending you bananas? What was like?
Yeah, no, he financially supported us. I don't want to ever say that we wanted for anything.
Okay.
He just, when I needed him to be there to help discipline, he was just on top of the factory throwing barrels, and I'd have to call him, I'd have to page him, and he'd be like, ah! And I'd be like, I know, I get it. I know you're busy, but we're all busy.
Yeah.
No, we are.
Seems like a
all
waste of
busy.
time just throwing barrels when he's got a family to help.
Well, the barrels made the money, and that's what
That's
he
true.
said. He said, baby, but I knew what he meant was, I can't support the family unless I'm up throwing barrels. And I'd be like, I know, but we need you at home.
Yeah.
And he would say, bah! And I'd be like, I can't talk to you when you're this way. I can't.
So you learned his speech after being kidnapped a
Oh,
little while.
yeah.
You started understanding.
I mean, I got kidnapped like every day. You get to know someone.
After a while, Mario obviously stopped coming for you, but
Yes.
Donkey would still just throw barrels, just like hoping Mario would come back.
You
What was
know,
that about?
He gets a habit. You know,
Yeah.
I think he thought it would cheer me up because he knew. I don't think he ever knew that I was sad that Mario had sort of stopped. He moved on from me, and I think that it was hard for Donkey Kong to move on himself because he knew that once the thrill was sort of gone.
Right.
You know, the chase was sort of over.
Right.
But we got married.
But that hurts your relationship because now it's not like
the thrill was gone,
Right.
and that was painful for me too. What is my value? Is only being the damsel in distress? I'm more than that. I'm Pauline. I'm not just a damsel in distress. Hence the book. Finding the damsel within.
So
Right.
would you say it's more of just a memoir tell-all, or do you also have like self-help stuff for other damsels?
Oh, self-help, definitely. I mean, I've taken a lot of journeys within myself, journeys to other realms, you know, journeys with some of my other video game friends.
What, like Zelda, maybe? Like
Zelda.
another damsel, yeah.
You know, she and I have had conversations, Princess Toadstool, you know, people, you know, as I mentioned before, the L shape from Tetris. She's been through a lot.
That's
Really?
a she. The L is a she.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She and I went to Sedona, Arizona together to, you know, align our chakras and really think about what is our place in the world. Are we part of a whole, or are we ourselves unique?
Oh, L is like for lady. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was her name? That doesn't make sense.
It's
Yeah.
not. That's not what.
That's
Oh,
not what it
okay.
is.
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell her. Don't say that to her.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And then I also have to ask, because again, like I said, since we were talking about other damsels you relate to, you know, another woman who Mario used to save a lot is Princess Daisy from Super Mario Land, and then he moved up to being, you know, a worldly guy with
Yeah.
Super Mario World.
Daisy.
Can you talk to Daisy?
Oh, she was a sweet kid.
She was. She seemed like it.
She was a sweet kid. She was just new. She came in. She just, you know, she rolled in and she's like, I'm going to be the next. It was like Hollywood to her. But she got caught up in the life, in the video game life.
It's hard to get out of it once you see it, I guess.
Yeah,
It seems
she
like.
got hooked on coins. She got hooked.
Can you get hooked on coins?
You can get hooked. You got to keep jumping and getting them over and over again. It's like a rush. And if
Yeah.
you don't get it, and she needed it every day.
And sometimes it's just a brick that you just smash your head into and there's no coins.
She
I
would
would
just-
imagine that just gets
We
you.
would. Oh my God, this is so sad. Mario would be looking for her, and she'd just be stuck in one of those flower pots. She'd just be. She couldn't find her way out. It was just terrible.
Wow.
You know, and we'd just be like, she'd just keep climbing that vine.
Yeah.
Climbing that vine, chasing that dragon, climbing that vine, and we'd be
wow.
like, Daisy, you know, it's more to life than just coins. So I'm not sure where I don't even know where she is now.
Do you think a lot of these, since I mean, so many games from back then were based on women getting kidnapped
Yeah.
and having to be saved?
Olive Oil, the Popeye game.
Yeah,
Classic,
I mean,
you know.
was it Ghosts and Goblins? Right,
Yeah.
almost every game, a woman gets kidnapped, and then the main character has to save her.
Yeah.
Well, we had big hopes for Ms. Pac-Man. We really did. We thought she was going to take us to a place of empowerment because you know she ran the game. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah, it
was
was
her.
her game.
but she turned out, you know, and it was, you know, we thought she was going to be our feminist leader, you know, but she had kids too, you know, and it's very hard, you know, it's hard to be a mother and a leader, you know, and she should have been able to do that, but you just need more support. Things are different now. Things are better now, but in the 80s it was very
bet, yeah.
hard.
A lot of the female characters don't have kids these days. Lara Croft has no kids.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like Samus Aran was the first person to really do that. Metroid, you know, she kind of changed the game.
She
Yeah.
really did, and Ms. Pac-Man doesn't get enough credit for being a real groundbreaking, you know. And she was going to come with us to our retreat. Me, Zelda, Princess Toadstool, and the L shape.
Is this like you guys do an annual like princesses,
Yes,
damsels?
all the
kinda-
women of video games have an annual retreat.
That seems like that's awesome. Can we get invited to that, or it's
No, it's
strictly
for women only.
That should be
No.
fun to
It's
see.
it's supposed to be a safe space. I
It's-
guess.
Yeah, that'd be
It's kind of
fun.
like the Dinah Shore thing in LA. You know, I'm not saying it's not just for gay, lesbians.
lady gay. Well, I don't know.
There,
I'm
no,
not
there.
sure,
You know, Lara Croft. You know, we thought, you know,
Lara Croft is gay.
No,
No, she's
Oh.
not.
Is she?
Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Well, we
no.
don't
A
know.
lot of men would be very
We
upset
don't
if that's-
know
yeah.
because she doesn't.
Well,
does she hook up with people in games?
Pauline might know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying that she's, you
Well,
know.
let's not out Lara. We don't know.
Right.
No,
Sure.
she's her own. She's on her own journey. You know, I'm just saying that her and Princess Peach have a past.
Is there a lot of
Wow.
like? So this retreat is sort of like kind of like people hook up and stuff.
No.
Or
It's
they
really
experiment?
there's some panels.
Panels.
There's some panels. There's like kind of like a TED Talk type thing.
Oh, it's more academic. Okay.
Well-
Hair, admin, stuff like that.
Well,
They
we
talk
just
about-
talk about the issues facing female video game characters
Yeah.
today.
like what?
Like, you know, are we being rescued or are we the heroes?
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, are we getting paid the same amount as our male counterparts?
Oh, interesting.
I would expect Chun-Li is there. right?
Yeah,
So
every
Street
year
Fighter.
we have a new special speaker. Are we getting 77 downloads for every percentage of the guy downloads? You know,
Really? Wow.
that's what the data bears out. People
Yeah.
just and unless if with the larger breast size that a female game character has, then the more likely she'll be to be downloaded. But what about
That's true.
our skill and ingenuity? So these panels are not popular because unfortunately none of the because we do send press releases out to all the gaming publications, but people aren't.
I didn't even know
Unfortunately,
about it, yeah.
Wait, so can we go? We're like kind of the part of the
As a
media.
press, we'll cover it.
you could cover it. Yes,
Maybe
you could
we'll
cover. You
talk
can.
to your people and
Yeah.
see if
I mean,
they're
it
Yes.
is a public event. Like
See if they're
whatever
cool
you.
with it.
Yes, I could
Yeah.
send our PR people.
What's the name of this retreat?
It's called FemCon.
That's good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's called FemCon.
That sounds like a drag.
Drag? No,
Yeah.
I don't think they're in drag.
No,
No?
definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We got to wrap it up. Any last words or any final
Well, she didn't really
thoughts?
plug the book. Tell us more about the book.
Yeah, real quick.
Well, it's on Amazon.com,
Okay, good.
and it's called The Damsel Within.
Mhm.
It's all about rescuing yourself and how you don't need a big donkey. You don't need a plumber. You don't need a boxer with fragile limbs. You just have to rescue yourself.
Is it good for men? Like we could read this book
Of course.
and
We-
like
that's the problem. If Donkey Kong had read this book, he could realize that he has a larger purpose beyond just throwing barrels.
Yeah.
What is his purpose? Donkey Kong Jr., he found math. And
Right.
that's wonderful. I think, I don't know if you know this, but Donkey Kong right now, he's making some really beautiful ceramics.
Really?
nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really
Hope
really
it doesn't start
good.
throwing them. You know.
No, he is throwing them, but
Oh,
he's
jeez.
creating them.
so he makes the ceramics and then he immediately throws them.
He does,
Once
but
a monkey, always a monkey.
I know, but
Yeah.
they're just beautiful and they're
For
real.
a few minutes, they're beautiful.
They are,
Yeah.
but it's something creative that is welling up within him, and I'm so proud.
Yeah,
That's
And I
good.
feel like I've been really helpful.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
Pauline, thank you so much for
Yeah.
for
Can
coming.
you
for
stick
joining
around?
me.
Can
You want to stick around and play a game real quick?
I would be honored.
All right, awesome. We'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Hey guys, we're back to the Playable Characters podcast. How are you? We're gonna play a quick game with Pauline while she's still here. We did our version of FMK Wed Bed Dead. We got a doozy of a list here. We got 3 names that we're gonna pick to either fuck, marry, or kill. Wed, bed, or dead.
Okay.
The first one we have is Calvin's gonna love this one. Cyrax from Mortal Kombat.
Remember, Calvin is gay.
Yes, he is.
Listeners,
Cyrax is a yellow ninja robot from
Yeah.
Mortal
Okay.
Kombat, if you didn't know. We also have Rash, which is one of the Battletoads. He's a giant.
Oh.
He's a giant frog, a giant
He's a
toad, I
toad.
guess. He's a
Toad.
giant toad called Rash.
what a name! Ugh, what a
They
gross
were,
name.
he was a Rash, Zitz, and Pimple were with a squad of Battletoads. So
That's very-
Cyrax, Rash, and I don't know who this is actually, but Crimson Head Zombie from Resident Evil.
Oh yeah,
Who
that's
is that,
the zombie
Calvin?
where if you there's the regular zombies, and then if you don't kill it fast enough, then it turns red and then gets really aggressive and tries to kill you.
Well, it's terrifying.
So,
Yes.
this is.
I mean,
this is
or a keeper because he's aggressively about you.
this is a tough choice.
This is, you know what? Can I go first? Because I think right away I realize who I
I
would.
feel like you should go last since you're the announcer.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. So if you want to give Pauline, the
Pauline,
first,
please,
Paul,
seriously,
go first.
which
who would you
want?
F? Who would you M? Who would you K?
The ravenous
Wed,
zombie.
bed, dead. We got to go with our
That's
trademark.
true.
This
Wed,
is all
Bed,
very
Dead.
embarrassing for me right now because I've actually betted all of them.
Pauline, oh my
Even
goodness.
the zombie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, I
You
kind of
know-
thought maybe Rash because you liked it.
I mean, you
You
are
know,
you've kept really good care of yourself after all these
You look
years.
good.
Yeah.
You're-
Thank
you
you.
did great.
Your hair,
I've-
especially.
Thank you. I've had some lost years. I got to be honest with you. There was I've kind of I've been around the block.
Yeah.
So I have betted all of them, and they were all wonderful and special in their
Really?
own way. But I have to, if I was going to choose, I would bet Cyrax.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fabulous.
I mean, it's a
He's a
robot
machine,
that
yeah.
literally won't stop, I guess.
He
That's-
didn't.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
yeah. I still think about him. He was wonderful. I did that toad. Oh,
Yeah.
he
Rash.
left such a trail on my bathroom floor.
Oh my God.
I can't even talk about it. I had to call Mario to clean out the tub. That
No
was
restrictions.
that was
for you,
awkward.
huh?
that was a little
Oh my
awkward.
god,
Goodness.
that's been crazy.
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm
he
sorry.
knows-
I got Luigi to do it.
He'll
Yeah,
do it.
that was more of a Luigi job.
He'll do
Uh,
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's kind of cruel because Luigi's in love with you still. Probably.
Well, that's why he'd do it. She knows. She
Yeah.
She plays the game.
I'm not
man.
proud of myself. That wasn't a good time for me.
She's an icon.
That was the early.
You know?
I know.
That was the early '90s. That wasn't my best time. And then Wed. You can't go wrong with a zombie.
You can. That's terrifying to me.
No.
He's always running around.
Well, these are her
aggressive.
choices.
That's
These
true.
are
I
her
mean, you
choices.
guys,
You
yeah.
can't-
I've
What would you like about having an aggressive zombie all around you all the time? Taking them to weddings, parties.
Zombies get a lot done in a day.
Do they?
They don't sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
They'll clean the
That's true.
house. They'll eat predators.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my head's spinning now. That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's what I'd say.
Especially the predator eating. I mean, that's really
Yeah,
important.
They probably eat
Yeah.
insects. They
I
probably
mean,
eat anything.
I don't live in my castle anymore. I have kind of a small ranch house,
That's
but
nice.
it's nice to have someone protected for you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, plus he could turn you into a zombie, then you could literally be together forever.
Yeah, he could, but he won't because he knows like that. Then then the thrill is gone. Back to my old problem.
Yes.
Oh, so he
Yeah.
couldn't commit?
Well, no, the thrill of he's a zombie, I'm not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's how
get
you
it.
keep
Yeah.
the marriage fire alive.
Oh.
When you originally bedded the zombie, how did you not? I mean, he could have bit you and you become a zombie.
Wait, was he a zombie when you bedded him, or he became a zombie later?
Oh gosh, I have to think back. Those were the crazy '90s. Those were the grunge years.
Well, it seems like he's like dating outside your species a lot. So it sounds like he probably-
I guess I'm more of an anthropologist.
Yeah.
you can call it that, I guess.
Yeah.
Sexual anthropologist.
I like to
guess.
say that. That's the name of my next book.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good title. Calvin,
Calvin.
what are your choices here, buddy?
Pauline, you made some very
Yeah, she
very
really
salient
made
points.
great-
Yeah,
Great arguments there.
because originally I was gonna just dead the zombie because zombie, but
You can't
you
dead the
know,
zombie. He's already dead.
That's true too.
I guess undead. I'll send him to heaven.
Wet bed undead.
I would. Oof, this is really tough. I would probably bed the rash because that's curable.
Well, it's not a rat. It's a giant
Rash.
toad. His name
Yeah,
is
but
Rash.
he's a toad who hangs
He's
out
a
in the
person.
sewers. You know
That's
he has
true.
something.
Okay.
Well, he hangs out in the speed tunnel, the caves, the ice chain. He's
All places that are not clean.
Probably a lot of diseases. You're right. And he fights rats all the time, so he's probably got something.
So,
You're right.
I mean, but I kind of like that. Like I like a little danger in my life. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
true.
it's like playing the slots, gambling with it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I would wed Cyrax because as a robot he could lift a lot of things, and so I mean he's a great mover.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah. I don't know if Cyrax ever moved stuff for you, but
He took me on some really romantic dates. We always went to Burger Time together. Those were really nice days.
Wow, that's cool.
That's nice.
that sounds really nice. And I feel like he would be really romantic.
At
He
times,
could
at
take you to
first.
Outworld. He knows some nice places.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
So I guess you would
And I would
bed the zombie. No.
I would undead the zombie.
You would
Yeah.
undead the zombie, and you would
I would wed. So I'd marry Cyrax.
right. Okay. You'd fuck Rash once.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
Get him
All
out
right.
of the system, and then I'd have to undead the zombie.
I
Sorry.
gotcha. Olip.
So these are all dudes, huh?
They are all dudes.
I mean, the Crimson could be a woman.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It could be. We didn't think about that. It doesn't
All right.
say.
Let's not
male
be
or female.
heteronormative. Okay. It could
Yeah,
be.
a lot of zombies are women.
Yeah.
They're
All right.
slower than men, so they get.
So I'm going to bed
they
the
get big
zombie.
quicker.
I'm going to make it a woman. I'm going to bed the zombie.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I don't see any other options there
That's
for
true.
me.
That's
I think you need to read my book.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe you got to rescue
I gotta
yourself.
open-
Olive.
yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, rescue yourself from these notions.
Well, I don't want to sleep with a toad. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't want that toad near me anywhere. I would
Right.
dead the toad.
But the toad, like, that's natural lubricant.
yeah, it's gross though.
Yes, true.
I mean,
Yeah, that was a gross.
A lot of
toad.
toads, you touch them and you instantly, it's like poison, you die. So you got to be careful.
He was more of a hallucinogenic toad.
really.
okay.
But
well,
bad-
now this
but bad
changes my
hallucinogen.
answer, maybe.
I
If he's
see.
a hallucinogenic toad, I would bed the toad,
There
right?
you
Because
go.
having hallucinogenic sex is probably pretty amazing, or a nightmare.
still a toad.
Either way, it's very intense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be a
Right.
nightmare. You're right. Yeah.
I think you have to marry Cyrax because, I mean, a robot would be the greatest, because it'll be like a servant and a partner
Yeah.
at the same time, and it would protect you. Obviously, it's a ninja.
Right.
It can lift, it doesn't need to sleep or eat.
He's got giant nets.
Yeah,
in
you
his-
can
in his
decide
chest
what
plate.
restaurant you want to eat at every time because
He
once
doesn't-
again, he's a robot.
He
Oh, yeah, he doesn't
does
eat.
have to-
Yeah.
So here, let's do Thai food. He's fine with it, every time. And then, yeah, I guess the zombie
You'd kill the zombie.
kill the zombie.
Yeah.
Let the zombie go to heaven. Undead the zombie. Free the zombie from its torment.
That's good points, man. I thought I had it, but I'm all over the place now. I still think I'm going to marry Rash, and here's why.
Oh,
I was a huge, I know.
The judgment.
Yeah, I was a huge Battletoads fan.
it's a very hard game.
For those who don't know, I beat it fair and square. No Game Genie back in the day. That's my claim to fame. I did beat Battletoads.
There's no proof of this, but
Well, I knew because it was 1993. Whatever. No, they weren't. you know.
You
But
could've
there are
taken-
Kodak
you could've
cameras.
taken a
There's no,
photo,
there's no
right?
It was Thanksgiving,
There were
and my
Polaroids.
family's screaming at me, dinner's ready. They almost came and turned it off. My cousin was there watching me. I beat it. Best day of my life. So
Rash was always
He has
there
a
for
wife
you.
and a kid.
Yeah.
It's the same as life.
so Rash is he's got a soft spot. He's got a sweet spot. I think it's
Is it a soft spot or is it a
it's
sweet
both
spot?
soft and sweet.
You have a
Soft and
soft-
sweet.
Like a peep, soft and sweet. So I think, and plus he's strong as heck. He could protect me all the time if I needed it.
I mean, aren't you like 6'4"? I mean, do you need a lot of
6'6".
Yeah,
I'm a big man,
seriously.
but I'm not a supersonic toad that can like
Is he
fight
s-
people. When he punches, his fist grows, his boots grow.
Okay.
He's a cool toad, man. He's kind of like
I forgot about the growth thing.
Yeah, man.
that could have changed an answer.
Yes.
so. I'd marry Rash, have him around. I would. I think I would bed Cyrax because
He could have any kind of genitals under there.
I was thinking
Or
that
changeable genitals.
he might just take it off. He might be like a sex robot. He might be one of those like fake, those crazy things in Japan, like those real sex robots.
Why can't
But
he
you
be
know
a
it's going to be
sex
either too hot or
ninja?
too cold, right? Because it's like hardware down there.
Is that true?
You don't
Yeah.
know. You don't know. There's attachments. Things can always be.
Exactly. He's a robot. I can. It's
Yeah, but
it's
Cyrax
like,
is one of like the first class robots. Like you're not getting.
it's like old
sophisticated.
machinery.
Yeah.
It's old rusty machinery. You're saying?
Yeah, you're not getting
Well,
WD-40
Pauline
down
knows.
there.
Pauline, what's going on down there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you betted Cyrax.
It was just more of like a jutting metal.
Like
Bar.
gears turning,
Yeah, and you could hear the gears.
like one of those
Gears.
old like oil drilling
It
things
was
that
like.
go up and down. Well, here's the thing. Okay, I take all your arguments, but
That's a fact. She's
I'm
not
I'm
arguing.
holding on to the hope that maybe this Cyrax model exploded, so I'm gonna get a
people
newer
can
one.
change. People can modify themselves.
Exactly. I'm gonna get
Yes.
a newer version. I hope where with the interchangeable female parts.
He does have a mouth.
Yeah, that's true. But
Sexist.
What?
we'll see. So I'm gonna hope to bed Cyrax. But then again, if I can make him a sex robot, should I marry that? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There's no connection there, so probably not. And I'm gonna zombie. I think might be. Yeah, I'm gonna undead and destroy.
It's the best thing for the zombie. It gets to go to heaven.
That's true.
Or-
and the
Well,
zombie.
heaven's not real, but if you want, to,
Okay.
so
I mean,
I would just. Well, then you make him.
or whatever Resident Evil's
You know what?
version
I'm
of
chopping
heaven
his head
is.
off. I'm killing the zombie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chop his head off.
Yeah.
Or shoot it in the head with something and make it explode. So
Well, some would say the best way to deal with a zombie is to marry it and put it through hell.
that might be true.
Yes.
So
Pauline, you're a very interesting woman.
yeah,
I am complex.
yeah. I can see
Seriously,
why all those.
You're not just a damsel.
monkeys
I have
and
to
plumbers.
say.
I'm more than a damsel.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Full circle back to the book. We can find your book on Amazon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's finding the damsel
The
within.
self-help section, I assume, or gaming.
It's self-help and
I mean,
gaming.
it's not a physical bookstare. Who cares?
I
Right?
used to work
Yeah,
as
why
an
are
editor.
Well, you
can
click on
cross
the
over.
link. You click on the right link to
You
make
could
it
use
easier.
Oh
use
my
whatever
God.
tags you need because I was an editor. You can use various.
Thank
tags, don't
you.
worry.
Yes, absolutely.
But I would love to get.
I've
have
got
that
great
come
SEO
What's that? Oh,
Search engine
optimization.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. You learned that in the jungle, the school of the jungle.
No, I went back to school for that.
Really?
Oh, that wasn't from the Kuber pyramid.
Oh no, this is modern now.
But you've been to a lot of schooling.
I have an MBA now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I've really grown.
That's awesome.
And what does Princess Peach have?
Like tons of castles. But that's about it.
That's all she has.
Fame. It's
Well,
Hollywood.
she has-
Ruling over her domain.
She has mushrooms that.
I mean,
weigh
yes,
on
she
her.
has fame. She has glory. She has beauty.
fortune.
She has toads.
She has toads. You know, she has all the things I wish I had, but I have my MBA
Well, you have your hair and your admin skills.
That's true.
And
Ha-
your son.
and my son,
Yeah.
my glory.
Yeah. Hey, thanks again for joining us. Hope
Oh,
you had
it's
fun.
been such a pleasure.
Yeah, awesome. Any guys final thoughts for Pauline?
No,
Just
this
seriously,
is-
thank you, and thank you for being so brave as to cross
So
the
brave.
species line. Because I mean, once again, let me tell you, I mean, I tried that once, and it's tough.
That's another
Oh.
episode.
Wow,
I think.
Calvin is
That's another
admitting-
episode for Calvin. We
Okay,
talk about
Calvin.
him. So, all right, buddy.
Bubsy was really cute. What can you say?
Bubsy.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
Bubsy.
Oh, my
We gotta go.
God.
We'll,
Okay.
we'll be right
We'll
back.
talk offline about this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to Playable Characters Podcast. If you liked it, send us a good rating on iTunes or Google Play or Sound, whatever the fuck that is. SoundCloud, all that stuff. Podbean, all the stuff you heard of that. Tell one friend about it, then have them tell a friend.
Tweet
we
us.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, definitely tweet us at Playable Podcast on Twitter, and also send us an email if you like it, or if you have suggestions of who we should interview. We'll try to get them in the studio. playablepodcast@gmail.com, and send us some mail, guys, and we will talk to you all next week.
I won't talk to you, but talk to us.
Right.
Playable Pod. Yes.